Doctor Documentary, where the mind wanders into an ever-present waking madness when it has no place to dream. I write these words from the bottom of the seems to be, that split and don't keep out the cold. Clever words fall on deaf ears because there is no Hollywood. Not out there or in here, the jail as big as the street, where you sell your soul for freedom or just something to eat. There's plenty of food in the dumpsters of Union Avenue if you can stand so much Jesus at the mission before the meal. So much joinerism to feed the till of the day's requirement to live, and not a thought of feels ever really never enough time to be. Just alive in half-light moments, but not a person real. And money in between lovers, high and low, wandering this hell, looking for some kind of God like there's poetry in this motion itself. And not a con for wealth, of love, in that order to survive, and everyone is evil if they've made it through this life. The price of admission is death before death. Mysterious confusion control the masses' guilt. This is a bad way to start a film. It's too depressing to appeal, I know. So that's how it starts, and it goes. So this is the stand-up set. We're on the cruise ship now, and even I wrote it out. It's like so there's a sign outside the door. You know, you wander from the casino to the food courts or whatever, and there's a sign outside the door that says "How to do comedy for professionals," right? And it's every day at whenever. I might do this, perform this for the and then post it. And it ends sort of poetically, right? It's hard to say. I wrote this at Memphis Mental Health Institute, where there was we couldn't use pens, pencils. They'd only give us Crayola markers, and we couldn't even. Sometimes they wouldn't even let us keep the tops on them, so it would dry out really quickly. So I had to write really quickly, and but I made it, and I made it out there with it. So it just ends with like a spoken word poetry. We've kind of brought it down to like, where are we? This cruise ship comedian sort of like archetypally, he's at sea. And he becomes, the words and the meaning without the scene. We've kind of put Garrett, we've put him to bed at the Ohm house on the coast. The heroine gets away with it, I'm sure. And, you know. I wrote this one for a nurse there. I told her, I'm not comparing you to a midnight, convenience store. A late night convenience store. It's endearing, and she thought that was. I don't know. I think she thought that was funny.